I've just spent 10 minutes walking around my house trying to find a spot where I can sit down and talk to you, where the lighting isn't really bad, and I can't find anywhere. So we're propped up in the kitchen cupboard as always. I also went to use my camera and decided I can't use the camera because the camera is great. However, it's got an autofocus on it. So if I moved out of screen a little bit, it would then start to say, try and focus in on that area there. And when I move back into screen, it now needs to refocus on me. It goes blurry, drives me insane, drives me absolutely potty. And I know the camera on the front of this phone isn't the best, but to be honest, it's better than a screen that keeps going blurry. Anyway, I've made myself a hot drink, which is something I never do, because Felicity has shared her cold with me and I can't stop sniffling. And I just want to curl up in a ball and go to sleep. But it's 1 o'clock. I haven't achieved a great deal yet today. I've got a lot more still to achieve. I've got so much to do today, not enough hours to do it in. And I wasn't planning to restart vlogging until tomorrow. You know, I thought 1st of March, start afresh. And I've been spent all day whilst I've been on my own with my own thoughts, thinking about what I'm going to say tomorrow. Do I just start vlogging again? I mean, it probably feels like I haven't been away that long, but actually I haven't picked up a camera and vlogged for over a week, which is really, really strange. It's become such a big part of my life that I feel weird without it. I've been 3.5 years now, so it feels very strange to not be vlogging. But I needed it, I needed a break. But anyway, I was like, do I come back and say nothing? Or do I explain a little bit why I needed that bit of a break? And at first I was like, I'm just gonna block up on the 1st of March and I'm not going to say a single thing. I think that was the postman for the 2nd time today. Don't think the dog's heard him. But then, talking of the postman knocked my door and delivered this big parcel, and I know who it's from. I've had a little wee look inside. I've read the note, made me want to cry, and it made me realise, not that I needed to realise because I already knew it, that so many people do care about us, people that don't, you know, that we don't meet on a daily basis. We don't, you know, we don't even know who each other are, really, but people do care. And this particular lady is someone I've spoken to on Instagram since I started vlogging, or almost when I started vlogging. She's been around since very much the start. And back last autumn, she asked if she could send her daughter's outgrown coat to Felicity. And it's the coat that Felicity wears all the time, the one with the big furry hood. And I gave her my address because I thought, I'm sure this lady isn't a complete weirdo, because she's been speaking to me on Instagram for ages, months, years. So I was like quite confident that she wasn't going to be, you know, a stalker or anything, because I do have to be a little bit careful because that has happened. But she sent Felicity a coat and she sent a Christmas card at Christmas time. She's lovely, absolutely lovely. And she messaged me last week, and bless her, I've ignored her messages. Not ignored because I wanted to ignore them, but ignored because I've ignored all my messages for the last few days. I've bobbed in and out of Instagram, had a bit of a scroll. But I haven't been, I've read every comment that's been left on the YouTube post saying that I was having a bit of a break. But I haven't had the mental capacity to reply to anyone. I needed some time out. And this postman knocked and brought that parcel, and I thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do a bit of a story time and explain to a certain extent where I'm at. I know some people probably think I'm a bit manic because some days I'm fine and other days I'm a bit crumbly, but that's just part of being a very, very over-exhausted mum, I'm sure. I mean, it might not be. I might be a complete crazy fool, but who knows? Either way, that's who I am. And this last few weeks, months probably, things have been getting a little bit much and getting on top of me. There's a lot of things going on, things that I won't discuss. You know, anyone with a couple of brain cells knows that what you see on people's vlogs and stuff isn't their entire life, isn't, you know, you don't see 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can't possibly know everything that goes on. But there's a lot of things going on. Nothing, you know, nothing tragic, but there's a lot of stuff in life, and it's not been great. And I am very much the doorstop in this family. I'm the one that holds everything together. And it gets too much sometimes, and I've been feeling a little bit overly... If I could like draw a picture of how I feel, I'd draw me and I'd draw loads of hands taking chunks out of me, like just taking a piece of me and running away with it. That's how I would show like in a picture what I feel like. So everyone wants a bit of me at all times, and I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed by it all for a while, but not being able to vocalise it, not being able to put it into words in a way that Kev can understand, that anyone I speak to can understand. So I do what I always do, and I just get up, show up, do what I need to do every single day. And the other week I just cried because I finally put it together in my head in words, and it was a relief to be able to actually put into words what I was feeling. And I cried, and I said to Kev, I said, I feel like I'm trying to do lots of things that everyone's trying to do. It's not just me. I'm doing the same thing as lots of other people are doing, but I'm trying to do all of these things. I'm not managing to do any of them fully. So I can clean the house all day, but the house isn't fully tidy and clean and whatever. So I can go all day long, and the kitchen can be clean and the front room can be clean, but the bathroom could still be a mess. The kids' beds could, not have been made. And that's what I say. I'm like, I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it fully. And I'm parenting, but I'm not parenting fully. And I'm trying to be a responsible dog owner, but I'm not even doing that very well, because some days he doesn't get a walk because everything falls on me. And it shouldn't all fall on me, but trying to get the other members of this household to realise that they need to do a bit. I've been trying to do that for years, and it's still not going in their heads. They still don't put anyone else before themselves. And my kids are brilliant. They're lovely kids. They're polite. They're, I can trust them. They don't go out and get into trouble. They're responsible to a certain degree. I know that if someone spends time with any of my children, they're going to come back to me and say, such a lovely kid. They're such a love. Your kid is lovely. So polite. So this, so that. So they're not bad kids, but they're very selfish and they're very self-absorbed, and that is only visual in our house and by me, and it's really hard. So I've been feeling like everyone wants a bit of me. I've got 6 people's schedules to run to, and I'm finding it really, really, really difficult to do it all. So when I say about parenting, I'm parenting, but I feel like I'm not doing it fully. I feel like I am missing massive, massive chunks of raising my younger ones. And I think it's because I'm so busy running the older ones' schedules that I'm not present enough for the younger ones. So I'll cook tea 4 nights a week. I'll cook the tea. Kev walks in the door at 5:30, 20 to 6. I've got to be out the door by 5:45 to take Jamie to work. So the tea will be ready to be dished up and put on the table, but I'm not here to supervise the mealtime. Kev is here, but I don't think he was deliberately not doing it. I just think that he didn't realise. Men don't think the same as women, do they? The end of. Men don't see things or think things the same as women. It's never going to change. It'll always be that way. But what I mean is, I was vlogging the other week, and we were eating a meal. I can't remember if we were at home or if we were out. But it wasn't until I was watching the kids through a camera and seeing what other people who would then watch the vlog would see that I realised how terrible table manners were. Not using a knife and fork properly, picking food with their hands, not sitting on their seat properly, getting up and down from the table, fidgeting around. Yeah. And I was like, whoa. And then I thought, well, why are they behaving this way? Why is Sienna not able to sit to the table, use a knife and fork, eat a meal, get up from the table, put her plate in the sink, wash her hands, and go about the rest of her day? Why can she not do that? And the answer is because she's not been taught to do it. Because no one has taken the time to stand behind her and show her how to use a knife and fork. No one has gone, if you've finished, put your knife and fork straight. I was raised. My nan was an absolute dragon. God bless her soul. She's died now, but she was a force to be reckoned with. Awful. To the point that she verged off of being just strict and being something else. But, oh my God, I would have had the flipping fork over the back of my knuckles had I have put my elbow on the table, if I'd have chewed with my mouth open, if I'd have talked with food in my mouth, if I hadn't have put my knife and fork straight on the plate at the end of the day, if I hadn't asked to leave the table, if I got up from the table and not washed my hands, if I hadn't put my plate in the sink to be washed up, I would have felt the wrath of my nan. And my nan was quite present in my upbringing, very present. And so I was raised like military way. You know, I was raised that this is what you did, and if you didn't do it that way, you were going to be punished for it, and I would be physically punished. Times have moved on since then. We don't physically punish our children. I'm not saying that we should, but I haven't taught them those core values, those core manners, and I feel like I'm not doing that because I am so busy running everybody else's schedule, getting them where they need to be and such. And it's not my fault. It's not Kev's fault. It's nobody's fault. But something has to give, and I was just feeling, and I am still feeling it. I'm not by any means like I've had a week off vlogging, everything's fine now, I'm hunky dory. Not the case at all. But I had a long chat with Kev and said, you know, some things need to be changed and tweaked, and I need more support. And now, as much as I understand, he goes to work and he works 70-hour weeks, some weeks. He goes to work, he's gone by the time we get up in the morning, he's at work by 6:30. He doesn't come in till 5:30, quarter to 6. So he's done an 11-hour shift by the time he gets home. He comes in, he has his tea, and then he puts the kids to bed. But when he puts them to bed, he will sit on their floor for up to an hour and a half until the kids have gone to sleep. And I said, that is ridiculous, because that hour and a half is time that I'm still on my own doing everything. And as much as I'm sure he's really enjoying his chill down time and scrolling TikTok, I'm sure that's why we got into this habit in the first place, because it never used to be this way. I said, them kids are old enough to be told, teeth, cuddles, story, tucked up into bed, it's night time, put your Tony's character on, we walk away, you go to sleep. There's no need for any of us to be sat in the bedroom with a 10, 6 and 4-year-old. That's ridiculous. And I've told the kids this now. I said, this has got to stop. This isn't happening anymore. You're loved, you're cared for. You don't need us to sit in your room to reassure you until you fall asleep. That's crazy. And they have for the last 3 nights. It hasn't been perfect, but we haven't sat, or Kev hasn't sat with them. I mean, I've had to go up and down the stairs and tell them off for talking and whatnot, but they have gone to sleep on their own. And I've sort of said to Kev that mornings are a nightmare. I get the kids home from school, they come in from the car, they don't bring their lunch boxes in or anything, everything is left in the car, and then the next morning I've got to find their school clothes, find their school shoes, go out to the car and get their lunch boxes, empty their lunch boxes, clean their lunch boxes, make their lunch boxes, get them ready, make sure they've brushed their teeth. And it's all too much, and my mornings are chaotic and they're out of this world crazy. And I thought the only person causing this is me, because I'm not on it enough and organised enough. So I sort of said to Kev, now you're not going to be sat in the kids' bedrooms at night until 9 o'clock at night. I'd like you to make their lunch boxes, lay out their school clothes, so that it's all ready for the morning. And he did that last night, and this morning was an absolute breeze. We were out to school on time, there was no raised voices, there was no lost anything. I managed to get them all to school with their lunchbox, their juice bottle, their book bag, their coat, everything that they needed at the start of a new week they had. Whereas many a times, Felicity hasn't took a book bag until Wednesday because I keep forgetting it. And tonight when I pick them up from school, I'm going to start a new rule that they come in, they empty their lunchbox and put their lunchbox on the side. They empty whatever juice they haven't drank and put it on the side, and they go and change out their school uniform and put their school clothes down here on the table to be like folded up. And then all Kev's got to do is wipe out their lunchboxes, make their lunch and fold their uniform and put them like clean underwear. And then everything's ready then for the next morning. And that's me just, you know, I'm sure there'll probably be people out there going, well, he's just done an 11-hour shift, why should he do that? You should do that. But I'm not physically here to do it because I am elsewhere. You know, 4 nights a week, I don't go to bed until, I'm not even in my house with my shoes off until 11 o'clock at night because I'm picking up people. And that's another thing that's changing. Jamie's been, well, it's not changing as instantly as I wanted it to change because He's had his bike nicked, second bike in 4 months, stolen. The police were they didn't promise anything, obviously they wouldn't, but they did say, look, we might be able to find your bike, because these people these teenagers that are doing this at the moment, they're not stealing just push bikes, they're stealing old people's mobility scooters. Every day there's a post on Facebook that someone's found an abandoned mobility scooter, or someone's had their mobility scooter stolen. These people are just going out, they're stealing them, they're running around on them, riding them about for a bit, and then they're dumping them, and then they're moving on and stealing another one. So they said, we have managed to reunite a lot of bikes with their owner. Jamie's bike was brand new. It was only like 2 months old, 3 months old. Got it in October, November, 4 months old, and it's gone. And I don't think we'll ever see it again, because it was brand new. It's easy to, it's about £400 when he bought it. So they'd probably make £200 selling it on. So he's got to buy another bike. I'm not buying him one. He can bugger off. He can, although he says it was locked up. I don't actually trust anything that a teenager says most days, because they talk rubbish. They talk out their bums. But yeah, he says it was locked up, but I don't want to say that he's lying. And I'd like to think that he would have locked it up, because he bought it with his own money. But anyway, he's going to buy another bike, and he's not going to buy a brand new one. He's going to buy a second-hand one. Because apparently living in this town, you're not allowed a new bike, and you're certainly not allowed a Carrera, because they are the ones that are stolen the most. So he's looking for a cheap second-hand bike, and he's 6 months almost without a seizure. So his new medication seems to be controlling his seizures really well. And the weather is obviously warming up. It's not -2 of an evening. It's, we're reaching double figures most days now. So I've said he needs to start taking himself to and from work. The reason I've been taking him and picking him up is because obviously I was worried he'd have a seizure whilst riding home and wouldn't be found, because the quickest route to where he works is up the river, so like on a river path. And it's pitch black, there's no street lights. And if he was to have had a seizure whilst he was on that river path, he wouldn't have been found. And even if he was found, obviously I'd realise he hadn't come home and go looking for him. It's not an easy place to get emergency services to if needed. So for his safety, I've been taking him to and from work. Well, anyway, I was in the shop yesterday, and when you're just set in your ways with something, that's what I'm like. I've been so set in my ways. That's the way you get to Sainsbury's. You go down the river path. That's how everyone gets to Sainsbury's. And I was in the shop, and the lovely guy that works in the local shop said to me, got any plans this weekend? And I said, running my teenagers round as always. And he said, it won't be long, they'll be able to drive. And I said, I bloody wish. I said, no, your eldest is epileptic. Yeah, I remember. He said, where does he work? And I said, I was in Sainsbury's. I said, so I pick him up because of the river path. It's so dark down there at night time. And he went, why didn't you just cut up by Aldi and go up the brand new road that not long opened? And it's all street lit and with a cycle path. And yeah, it's a little bit further, but it's all street lit, busy, with a cycle path. And I was like, why did I not think of that? Why have I been all this time thinking it's set in my ways that you get to Sainsbury's going on the river? So anyway, I said to Jamie about it. I was like, well, as soon as you've got a new bike, you can start taking yourself to and from work. I'm done doing it. I've done it for the last 6 months or longer. And quite frankly, I can't keep spinning all these plates and dropping them all, because that's what's happening. As I was explaining to one of my friends, I said, I feel like there's loads of bricks falling, and these bricks represent my children, my housework, my dog, my life, and they're all falling, and I'm catching some and the others are crashing to the ground. That's how I feel about my life at the moment, that everything's falling around me and I'm desperately trying to hold it all up, and some things are falling. And the things that are falling are things like the house, the manners, and it's those things that I have to now find a way to make things work better and delegate a little bit better, because I'm just exhausted. I'm totally exhausted. And as much as Kev not driving has never really been an issue, it's always been a case of he works nearby. I'm a nervous passenger. I would probably still do the driving anyway. I've been driving for 13 years, so I'm pretty set in my ways with driving, and it's never really been an issue. It's not something I've ever found a problem until the last probably 6 months, and now it's kind of like I just need, not that I'm expecting Kev to do everything and me do nothing. It's more of a case of it would be nice to be able to say, well, I'll do this whilst you run her there, or I'll do this whilst you drop Reese to work, or I'll do this whilst, or you go and take Reese to rugby and watch the rugby match whilst I stay at home and do what needs doing at home. Because this is another thing, like when the kids are at these places, because it requires me to take them, I'm out the house for a lot of hours. Like tonight, I have to take Summer over to her musical theatre class, and that's from 7 until 10 at night, but it's a 20-mile round trip, so I don't come home. I go and stay at my mum's. But whilst I'm at my mum's, I'm not at home, so things that I could be doing this evening, housework-wise, aren't getting done because I'm over at my mum's. It would just, and then, like I say, on a Sunday with Reese, if Reese has got rugby, I'm driving out to the rugby club and watching him and then coming home. And I mean, it's lovely to watch him, but it's not when it's pouring down with rain and it's freezing cold and the girls are freezing. That's not fun. So it'd be nice to be able to say, right, you take Reese to rugby this weekend, I'll stay at home and cook the roast dinner and do the washing. Because what happens is I take him to rugby and watch the rugby, and then I come home and I've still got to cook the roast dinner and do the washing and everything, and before I know it, it's 10 o'clock at night and I've not sat down, and I'm feeling like I'm, again, spinning plates and they're all falling. So anyway, that's where I've been at. I've been feeling just very much over-picked. Like I say, I feel like everyone just wants a bit of me and I'm bottom of the pile. So I had a bit of a meltdown, had a bit of a cry, and in relation to vlogging, it was just more a case of I love doing what I do, but it's another thing added to the plate, and it's been half term, it's been cold and wet and horrible, and I'm a fair weather person. I was born in the wrong country. I should have been born somewhere hot. I wasn't made for this country. And as much as I said in on my community posters, I'm sure you'd love to see the kids splashing in muddy puddles, all togged up for the cold weather. I ain't that type of person, and they're not them type of kids. So we just wanted to hibernate this half term, or I wanted to hibernate, and they were quite happy to oblige. So I just felt like halfway through the week, I was thinking, oh, what we're going to do and where we're going to go, because I ought to do something. And then we can vlog as well. And actually, all I wanted to do was sit on the sofa and watch Netflix. And that's what we ended up doing. I mean, we didn't do that the whole time. We did go to Creeley for a few hours. That was funny. That was good. We went to the wrestling, and they've got like the big tent there where they do the shows. And the shows that the girls have seen there have been like ice skating, like a Halloween, like nice show, Christmas, Father Christmas. So anyway, I've said to them we're going to watch wrestling. They ain't got a flipping clue what wrestling is. Not the foggiest. They have no idea what the word wrestling means. So they're just going along with it. Yeah, we're going to watch the wrestling, and we get in the show tent, and it was at that point that I kind of thought, I don't even know if the girls know what this is. And then the first wrestler came out. Real disappointment. All middle-aged men with a bit of chub on them. There was no one remotely young and fit with a six-pack. Anyway, this middle-aged chubby man comes out wearing just a pair of Speedos, and Felicity gasps like, where are his clothes? And she just screamed out, where are his clothes? With this panicked voice. And I was just like, oh my God, I just laughed. And it was just the pure shock on her face. And then they started to wrestle and slam each other into the floor. And I mean, it was so obviously fake to me and any other adult there, and any child above the age of probably 8, that this was all fake. Felicity doesn't like that sort of thing. We all know Felicity is a real softie, and she got really upset, and she was cuddled into Kev with a hood over her face. And then Sienna was just watching it, and even for Sienna being such a little savage that she is, she didn't look comfortable at all. So in the end I said, shall I take you two into the soft play and leave Daddy and Riley to watch this? And they were like, yes please mummy. So I took them off and we went into soft play, and Kev and Riley finished watching the wrestling, and then they played for a little bit in the soft play, had a look at the animals, and then we came home because it was really busy and really flipping cold, and so funny. You wouldn't think it, but Felicity is like the real soft-hearted, everything upsets her, she's like me, overthinks everything and thinks too much about things, and but she's the first one on a roller coaster and jumping off the top of a death slide. She loves that. She loves all of that. Whereas Sienna, who's a complete little savage, you go to her, do you want to go on the roller coaster? No. Do you want to go on the pirate ship? No. She doesn't go on anything. She doesn't like rides. And you would think it would be the other way round, because Felicity, like I say, she's just like me. And this is half my problem as well. This is another thing that I was explaining when I was talking about, like, the older ones mainly, and discipline and doing too much for them. I mean, Jamie can be an absolute little to me, and he can disregard everything I've said. And, you know, I've told him to clean his room, but he thinks, oh, what do you say? I'm not doing as you tell me, and he doesn't do it. And, you know, he's Jack the lad. He's got all the rules, and he can be, you know, he can be a lovely boy most of the time, but sometimes he can be an absolute one of those. And I say to him, you know, we end up falling out, and then Kev will say to me, well, I just wouldn't go and pick him up from work. It'd make him walk home. And really, that's probably what I should do. What I should do is go, you don't get to speak to me like that. You don't get to do X, Y, and Z, and then have me run around after you. Things don't work that way. But I think, but what's he going to feel like when he comes out of Sainsbury's and my car's not there? He's going to look for me, and then I'm not going to be there. And then he's going to realise that I've not come to get him, and then he's going to have to walk home. And the whole time he's walking home, he's going to be really sad, and he's going to feel abandoned, and that I don't love him. That's how my mind works. That is how my mind works, and that's how Felicity's mind works, and that's why me and Felicity are easily upset. Actually, the truth is, he'd probably come out and go, oh, bitch hasn't bothered to come and pick me up from work. Oh, I'll walk home, shall I? And he'd probably be cussing me the whole way home, not feeling abandoned and unloved. But my mind thinks, how's he going to feel when I'm not there? So I overthink things, and because I overthink things, I wipe their bums for them far too much. And in doing that, I take on too much and overfill my plate too much, and I can only hold so much on my plate before it crumbles. And that's what happened, really. So we had quite a chilled out half term in the end. We went down to Plymouth to my sister-in-law's, which was lovely. I do this, I make a hot drink, and then I can't drink and talk on camera because I feel like it's weird, and that was lukewarm. Anyway, went to my sister-in-law's. It was her birthday, and I just love having the kids all together, the cousins together. It's just the most adorable thing ever. Eliza was teaching Felicity how to change her earrings. Now, ever since Felicity lost an earring and had to walk around with just one earring for about 3 months until we could get the other one re-pierced again, I've said, you're not taking out your piercing earrings. They are staying in for a long, long time. But Eliza was like, please, Auntie Kaylee, can we change our earrings? And me being me was like, okay. Anyway, they changed their earrings, and then we left to come home. And Felicity's £30 pair of white gold earrings, I put into the pocket of her dress and said, just leave them in the bottom of that pocket and we'll know where they are when we get home. Anyway, got halfway home. Everyone's been panic buying diesel because of what's going on in Ukraine. So everyone's out panic buying diesel, and Laura's mum says to me, do you need diesel? Because there's queues up everywhere to get, and I was like, no, I've got enough to get home. Well, I thought I had enough to get home anyway. I get halfway home and it's dark, and my headlights on my car are shocking. They're awful. You either can't see or you have to have them on full beam. I don't know what's wrong with them, but we've changed the bulbs and they're still shocking. I do need to get them looked at. Maybe the whole headlight needs changing, but they're rubbish nonetheless. Anyway, we get as far as like just before Newton Abbot and the road is closed. The Devon Expressway shut, and it takes you off, you know, it just literally, the cones take you off, and you're off and you're in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, well, I don't know where I'm going. My diesel light comes on, and I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. So I head one way, trying to just follow the rest of the traffic, and end up at another big roundabout. And I'm just going around this roundabout going, I have absolutely no clue where I need to go next. I don't know how much of the Devon Expressway is closed. My sat-nav is just trying to send me straight back to the road that's shut. So I ended up going on to an industrial estate. By now it is 9 o'clock at night. I'm on my own with the kids. Kev was at work. Oh, he was at home by this point, but he'd been at work. So I'm sat in the car with... Did I explain about Lissy's earrings, that she actually lost them on the way home? Yeah, that's what I was getting to. So anyway, she's got her earrings in her pocket, and we've got to this industrial estate, and I just pulled off, and I just zooming in on my map on my phone, thinking if I go that way and that way, and I'm like, oh my God, how do people ever live without sat-navs and into Google blooming maps? Like, how do people ever get anywhere? Because I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but I'm zooming in on this map, and I think, well, if I go that way and that way and that way. Anyway, I nearly crashed twice on these really narrow bridges where, like, you're driving up this road, and it's like not wide enough for two cars, and you've got headlights coming towards you, and your shit headlight's not working, and the wall over into the river is only like yay big. And it was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. Anyway, we come over this bridge that was really, really long. And I all of a sudden realised where we were. I was like, we're near Finlake. I came over this bridge when we went to the train station to pick Reese up. And anyway, we came back out, we got back onto the right road. Petrol lights screaming at me like, you're going to break down any minute. It's 9 o'clock at night and you're on your own with all these kids and you're about to break down. Anyway, I pulled off at the Clumpton services and thought, everyone pulls off at the services, pays through the nose for diesel at the service station. Yeah, if you go like 50 yards around the corner, there's a Tesco. So I've pulled into the Tesco, no diesel. And I was like, you're kidding me. They've been panic buying it here as well. So anyway, I was thinking, please God, be expensive diesel at the service station. Please, Lord, be diesel. Anyway, managed to get some diesel. Got home, 10 o'clock at night. Took me 2 hours to do an hour-long journey. Stressed to the max, like, I was so angry. Kev was asleep on the sofa. So I tore him a new bumhole as soon as I got in. I was like, how could you fall asleep not knowing we were home safe? He was like, whoa, what have I done wrong? I only fell asleep because I've been at work all day and I'm shattered. But I was not happy that he'd fallen asleep. And I was just taking out my frustration on him, as you do, because that's what you do to the people you love the most. You take out all your frustration on them. Anyway, I just sent the kids upstairs to bed. I was like, just go upstairs, get stripped off, get into bed, get to sleep. In doing that, Felicity's obviously whipped her dress off, earrings have gone. So her earrings are now gone. So yesterday I had to take a trip into town on the weekend, payday weekend at the end of the month, to buy Felicity another pair of earrings, and I couldn't believe it. I went into Claire's Accessories. I was like, what on earth is this? This is so expensive. All of these earrings are like £12 a pair for the silver ones. I was like, well, you've had Eliza's little cheapy pair in for a couple of days and they've not made your ears go red, so you can have some more cheap ones. So they bought a pack of pandas, unicorns, bears, and just some coloured ones. They were like £4 for 6 pairs, and that's it now. Now Sienna needs to change her earrings, because if Felicity's got unicorn earrings and she bloody wants them, and that's all they've done for the last 24 hours is swap earrings. And this morning they've come to me and they've gone, Mummy, I want the panda ones that Sienna's got in her ears, and she wants the bear ones that I've got in our ears. So we just swap them over. And I'm like, I'm not really sure that's a very hygienic, but you know, it's 8:30 and we're due out the door in 10 minutes. Just crack on. I don't care anymore. So I say we just hibernated at home, but we really didn't. We did a lot of bits and bobs, but it was just nice to have no pressure. Just to go with the flow. And this morning, to say, I got out of bed the second my eyes opened and came down. Breakfast was done. I cleaned the kitchen I didn't go to bed until about 11 o'clock, so I made sure everything was clean and tidy, although I've got piles of washing that need putting away, but I'm not going to put them away until I finish the next 2 loads of washing, because otherwise I'm just going to end up with another couple of piles of clothes they're going to need taken upstairs. So I might as well just leave it until it's all done. But I cleaned up all last night, got the kids up, fed them, got them dressed, their clothes were all there ready, even had time to do a French plait into a side ponytail, which was requested of Sienna, for all children. Sienna asked to have her hair done this morning. I nearly died. I was like, are you sure you're going to actually? And she didn't cry, she didn't scream, she let me do her hair. So long may that continue. I'm sure it won't. I'm sure tomorrow it'll be a mad mess again and she won't let me anywhere near it. But I managed to get them all ready and out the door, and we got to school on time with everything that they needed. And I felt like a boss. I was like, I did it. I feel like I'm winning at life. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's now, oh my God, I've been talking for 35 minutes, you poor people. You've all turned off 20 minutes ago and I've been talking to myself. I'm going to go and tidy the kids' room, because I said to Kev, he rang me just before I started this, we normally both take them to swim in, but I said to him, we've got some people coming over tomorrow. I might talk about more about that tomorrow, but either way, there's some people coming over tomorrow, and I need Kev to do some tidying up in the garden. And I thought, if he comes to swimming with me, which he does like, we do both like to take the girls swimming together, which is why he finishes early on a Monday. But obviously that's not going to get anything done that I need done at home. So I've said, I'll take the girls swimming after school. He can tidy up the gardens, and then I've got to take Summer over to YMTC tonight. I think I'm just going to make macaroni cheese and just stick it in the oven, and they can just help themselves to that as and when they come in from school and college. And that's another thing, we have an extra person under our roof 4 nights a week. So Brooke is now staying during the weeknights when she's got college, because she lives like 30 miles away, and it's you know, a lot of train journeys and whatnot. So she's going to stay with us during the week, which is fine. I love her to bits. She's so lovely. She's so lush. I spoke to her mum yesterday and I was like, do you know what? I don't matter what I put in front of her, she flipping eats it. She doesn't moan. She doesn't whinge. I was like, she's a cracking kid. She's lovely. So I'm going to just make a macaroni cheese and they can all help themselves to that when they come home. And if they dare not wash up after them, I might actually put them all in the garden and leave them there. So yeah, that's where I'm at today. I need to go and tidy the girls' bed. Well, I say the girls because I'm so used to saying the girls and Riley's bedroom. I need to go and tidy that up, sort out all the clothing up there because Sienna is so fussy about clothes. Like, she's got this lovely like lemon yellow Gap jumper. She won't wear it. There's so many bits of clothing that she just won't wear because she doesn't like it. She's so fussy, and I just thought I've got bits of clothing in her drawers that she won't point blank wear, and bits of clothing that I've passed down from Felicity that are actually still too big for her. So I'm going to go and sort it all out, put her clean washing away, put Felicity's and Riley's clean washing away, make the beds, have a tidy up, and then it'll be school time. So thank you for watching. If you're even still here, you're probably not. My little bit of story time, and tomorrow I'm going to be back to vlogging business as usual. And you know, I just didn't want to start tomorrow's vlog like this because I knew that this was going to rabble on a little bit. I wanted to put all this out there and then tomorrow pick up afresh. And I know most of you, or the majority of you, will just be really understanding. And even when I've got a smile on my face tomorrow, and the vlog goes on as normal, you'll know that actually sometimes a smile hides a lot of things. I spoke to my friends about it this morning on the school run, and I said, like, I don't want people to think that I'm fake. I don't want to just people to think, oh, she's so fake because look at her all smiley, acting like her life is perfect when it's not. I'm not fake. I'm like every other parent out there who puts on a brave face and just gets through it. And that's all it is. It's just a brave face and we just get through. Some days are great, some days are terrible, some days are okay, but we get through every single day regardless of what life throws at us. And I'll be vlogging it. And some days I'll crumble and some days I'll be fine, and other days, yeah, we'll just mull along. And if I need to down tools again and take a break, I know that you'll all understand because we're all just human at the end of the day. And I'm going to drink my lukewarm hot chocolate and go and clear the girls' bedroom. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.